Welcome, my favorite federal employee. The market has made a major swing, and you made a swift change to the G fund or the F fund. Or maybe the news looks so grim on the business channel, and you're afraid if you don't take action, you'll lose part of your retirement. So you move all of your assets away from the C, S, and I fund into the F or G fund. But now, what do you do? There are action items that you can do right now to make sure that you and your family are not left behind. These are your retirement dollars, and they need to last longer than you do. They must grow faster than inflation. So how do we reduce the risk of inflation on your G fund and F fund holdings? Well, we're glad you found our channel, and we're going to answer that question in just a second, but I want to introduce myself. My name is Andrew McNair. I'm a son of a CSRS employee, founder of SWAN Capital, a total wealth management company where we have a CPA and estate planning attorney all under one roof, and I'm founder of the Signet Real Estate Fund, which serves retiring federal employees just like you every day. So if you feel like these times are more out of the normal than usual, I always love that quote from The Tale of Two Cities. It was the worst of times and it was the best of times. It sadly always feels a little uncertain, but you feel like today it's more uncertain than ever about the economy, or you feel uncertain about geopolitical events. So you've moved all of your money within the TSP into the G fund. But now what do? It's easy to get nervous, thinking the sky is going to fall only for it to fix itself in a less dramatic manner. You see all of this build up and it's anticlimactic with the economy. That has happened to all of us. It's true that actually financial advisors many times have worse returns than our clients. We actually have worse returns because we look at the market every day. So cut yourself some slack, and we're going to talk about proactive ways that you can get back on track with your investments. Now, your plan was to go to the G fund. Go to the F fund before it goes down, hoping that you could get out of the G fund at the right time when the market looks clear or safe. You look both ways and the market is safe, and you're going to try to jump back in, praying for the upswing in the market. When you move out of the market, though, you move off the highway. You move out of the market onto the sidelines. And when you exit, you are in essence market timing. And I've witnessed many families do this with elections, with market uncertainty, with geopolitical events. They said if Biden was elected, with Trump was elected, trust me, it's alluring because you've seen the dangers of those who have lost 40 or 30% of your retirement. Maybe you did that early in your career, and the pain of it, even though it was decades ago, is too much to bear once again. The danger of timing the market is that it's very difficult to do it. It's very difficult to be right twice. What do I mean? You have to be right twice because you have to decide correctly when the market is at an all-time high and when the market is at an all-time low. And sadly, many of us have done this or tried to do this in a fund or stock with mixed results. The issue is when you leave the market, you can get left behind by a runaway market. And that's because when people bet against humanity, they bet against America, sadly, they can bet against the Fed and be proven incorrect. It's like trying to sync up with a dance, but realizing the whole time you can't feel the beat of the music. Don't be too hard on yourself. It's so alluring to do it. Like I was telling you earlier, again, financial advisors fall prey to this all the time. And that's why we make the entire team at SWAN Capital, my wife's money, my money is all invested in our SWAN portfolios. Why? Because I could fall prey to it too. I've bought stocks that I knew were going to go up and they did the opposite. And that's why I invest in our own portfolios. We eat our own cooking around here. So here's what I can tell you. Wall Street analysts are paid high six-figure incomes, seven-figure salaries, and they can't predict where the S&P 500 will end up in 1 year. We actually do this event twice a year. You can look it up on YouTube. The State of the Market in January and the Halftime Report in July. In every event we talk about, here's what the professionals are saying where the market will end up. And guess what? We all have a chuckle because of how wrong they are. And these are the professionals. Sadly, what's even more confusing and misleading is when a federal employee has had an early success or luck with maybe moving to the G fund in the perfect time in a previous time when the market had a pullback. Clients who were working, keyword, while working, maybe had some luck or some skill, but were able in 2000, 2008, or 2020 can create a false sense of confidence that they can do it again. It's like an ape that actually flips the coin 7 times and thinks that they can flip it heads on the 8th time. I can assure you the brightest, most connected, and well-informed analysts don't get it right over 25% of the time, and it's their full-time job, and they blow it. I want to show you this graph. I think this graph is going to show you what you need to know about market timing, that really it's not market timing that leads to success. It's time in the market. As you can see right here, here are the returns of the S&P 500. You can see that staying fully invested was a 9.8% return, but when you actually missed just 10 days, not 100 days, 10 days, you lowered your return nearly in half to 5.6. If you missed 20 days, you only had a 2.9% return compared to staying invested, which was nearly a 10% return. But watch this, if you missed 60 of the best days, you actually had a negative return investing in the stock market. To me, that is mind-blowing that it just those few days missed equals such a bad performance in the market. So you say, Andrew, why are you showing me this? I feel like I've already made the mistake of moving into the G fund and the F fund, and you're just rubbing it in. That is not my intent of this video. If for any reason that you've panicked and you feel guilty or wish you would have stayed invested in the last few years, maybe you did make a large shift from 100% or 80% of your money into the G or F fund. What can you do about it? Well, I want to share with you some of the things and the steps that we've helped clients get back on track. And one thing that you can do is pull up the Shiller PE ratio. So this is what we recommend keeping a close eye on. And so I want to bring up this graph so you can see the Shiller PE ratio. And this is a very chock full graph, and so I want to break it down. If you already understand the Shiller PE ratio, just appease me and I'll go a little slower for those who don't understand it. The Shiller PE ratio shows you that the stock market is a market of companies that are sold. See, a company is only worth what it makes. I know that sounds basic, but it is only based on what it makes. So if I have a lemonade stand that is making $1 million a year, that's a lot of lemons. We're making $1 million a year, and someone comes across my lemonade stand and they say, hey, this is really great lemonade. I'd like to take this concern, this business off your hands. If they offer me, at the time of this recording, the Shiller PE ratio is at 37, 38. If they offer me $38 million for my lemonade stand, I'm going to take off my apron and hand it to them. Why? Because it would take me 38 years to get my money back if I don't. What we know from history, though, is anytime the Shiller PE ratio gets above 30, not usually good things have occurred after. You can see right here in the 20s, during, when the Great Depression began. You can see over here where the .com crash went as high as 44. You can see here in 2008, it didn't even make it to 30. You can see COVID, and you can see where at the time of this recording we are today. And again, I don't know what the future holds, but here's what I can tell you. How we interpret this data is when it gets above 30, we need to be very careful. We need to tread lightly. We need to be careful if we're going to continue shifting money into the market. Because we could keep on going on for 3 or 4 more years above 30, but the longer that the party goes into the night, the longer the champagne is poured, the worse the hangover is going to be on the back end, as you can see with the .com crash. So this ratio tracks if the market is considered overvalued or undervalued. It's one of those many measurements that we do and check in with clients. So if you're on the sidelines wondering when to get back in the market, maybe you should wait for this graph to dip below 30 before it actually is a good time to invest back into the CS&I. Once it does dip below 30, what we work alongside and come alongside families to do is DCA back into CSI. And what's DCA? Dollar cost average. We help them move 5% or 10% a week back into the market so that they can be fully invested. Now, you can never be for sure when the market is headed up or down, but the market is made up of human emotion, which lacks any pattern whatsoever. And the facts do have patterns, but when you mix these two, this is why the famous disclosure is past performance does not guarantee future gain. The key, though, is to get back into the market as quickly as you can. You'll never get in at the perfect time. I know it's extremely scary. I know it can be concerning. It's like riding on the sidelines and then taking the on-ramp onto the highway for the first time. This is a true story. My 15-year-old nephew, I decided to put him in my Jag, and he was driving my Jaguar. And again, we looked at each other and I said, we got to take the interstate. And he said, sure. Or I take this road. I said, yep, this is the on-ramp. So he takes the on-ramp. He's, again, speeding up into 70 miles per hour to get on the highway. And I looked at him and I said, how many times have you been on the highway? And he looked back at me and he said, this is the first time. It was scary for both of us. And it's scary, but you don't want to be left on the sidelines on that side road where inflation takes its toll on your retirement savings for you and your family. The bonus thermometer, this is for extra credit if you're staying for the full term of the video, is the Buffett Indicator. I do love showing the Buffett Indicator, and we can look at it together. The Buffett Indicator is obviously nicknamed after Warren Buffett, and it tracks the GDP of our country compared to our stock market value. And as you can see at the time of this recording, we're 208% head over our skis. Now, does that mean that the market's going to crash tomorrow? No, but as you can see with this graph right here, you can see that anytime it gets above 1.5 to 2%, the market is considered overvalued. And this is why we're going to start treading carefully and getting prepared for any market pullbacks that may lie ahead. As we come to a close, I want to leave you with this quote. Armageddon only happens once. And when it does, the G fund and the F fund, they won't keep your retirement savings secure either. So I hope this was super helpful. If you have federal retirement questions that are still lingering that we haven't answered on any of our other videos that you've watched, please drop us an email with your question, and your question may become a new video here on our channel. Please do check out all of our other videos and the resources that we offer. If you want to schedule a one-on-one time with one of my advisors or me to go through your TSP allocations, all you have to do is click the link below. If you want to get a comprehensive federal retirement report that looks at your big decisions like FEHB and FEGLI and survivor benefit, all you have to do is click that link below. We're an office that's located here in the Gulf Coast of Florida, but we have clients all over the world. Take us up on this opportunity by calling the 1-800 number, 1-800-848-8768. That's 1-800-848-8768, or email us at info@swan-capital.com. Sleep well at night, Capital. So have a blessed day, and we'll see you next time.